Being an effective real estate broker means you are a go-getter, an advocate, a voice, a cheerleader, and a trusted advisor. The gratification we get when our clients close on their home is priceless, but it takes knowledge, hard work, and compassion to help you get there. I am Linda Longmeyer, designated managing broker at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Stark Real Estate in Hoffman Estates, and I make sure my team knows their hard work matters. Building a strong relationship is where it all begins. We want our clients to feel supported in every step and feel confident when it's time to say, welcome home. Hi and welcome. I'm Linda Longmeyer, designated manager with Berkshire Hathaway Stark Real Estate and Hoffman Estates. And today we're here to discuss how to vet and find your real estate brokerage home. And you say, well, how can I do that? Well, are you in pre-licensing? Have you just passed your state? Or have you some years of experience on you and just feel a need to find, is there a better change in making my business grow? So how do we go about doing that? Well, let's rewind and find out a little bit about Berkshire Hathaway Stark Real Estate to 2013. And Mr. Buffett came on the scene. And as we all know, Warren Buffett believes in forever businesses. So when he gets into a business, it is a forever business. Now, couple that with Stark Real Estate, and they are a third generation, 63 plus years company. Wow, what a dynamite combination of stability and strength. And so how do you take that stability and strength and make it happen? Well, we help our brokers grow by being knowledgeable, caring, compassionate, and doing it with integrity. And let's take it a step further. We also realize that building strong relationships is where everything begins in life. So today you're going to hear from two of my brokers. One, a very seasoned broker, Kathy Wood, 30 plus years, and then a very newbie with me, 18 months with the firm, Ryan Sinclaire. But wow, what a poster broker he has been. So I'm going to start with you, Ryan, and say, what got you into this crazy real estate business?
Yeah, so it actually was about 18 months ago. Thank you for making me feel a bit old. So it was 18 months ago, and the summer before I started real estate, two of my good friends, both real estate brokers at Berkshire Hathaway, were always talking about real estate and the deals they were working on. And it got to the point that I didn't know a lot of the terms that they were mentioning, and I wanted to be a part of that conversation. So I started to Google what it takes to be a real estate broker.
Right.
I was fortunate enough that I had my law degree, and I'm a practicing attorney, so all I had to do was take the Illinois licensing test. I did that, passed that, and then started to put out feelers. I knew I had some time since I had a job already to look into the market, take my time, find a brokerage that was right for me, and that's kind of how I went about it for a month and a half while I looked.
Okay. And so that curiosity, one of the brokers that you were with, though, was not really with our company at that time, that got you curious.
That's true. That is my best friend and college roommate at the time, Shakir Siddiqui, who is now with us. He was formerly at another major real estate company in the area.
Right. So let's see, they got you curious. You went ahead and joined the real estate industry by just passing your test, and then you started talking to them about Berkshire Hathaway.
I did. At the time, one of our friends actually was a Berkshire Hathaway broker, and he had mentioned the Forever brand. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows who Warren Buffett is and how legendary he is. And to have someone who backs this type of business and a brand, I think is really important, because brand recognition for any industry is very pivotal for any clientele. But having something that's tried and true and works, especially a place that emphasizes values, is what I was interested in.
Right. So when you vetted other companies, what made you decide that this was the one, besides Mr. Buffett and his great value of strength and stability?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'd have to say it was you, Linda. It came down to how you spoke about your business, how you spoke about the structure. The training, I think, was next to nothing. Comparable to others. The other brokerages that I had talked to, their training was next to nothing. And then I came in and you had walked me through how you were going to help me develop my brand, my business, and myself. And it was also how you treated me in our conversations. You let me know if there were any questions that I had to please follow up. You followed up with me even if I didn't have questions, and you pointed me in the right direction. I was like, wow, if I was buying a house, I'd probably use Linda. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to be in real estate, I want to work with someone who treats me that way because that's how I want to be treated as a client.
Well, we do believe in the double platinum method here, without a doubt, But then here comes along your mentor, who's sitting beside you today. And Kathy, so the $64,000 question to you is, how did you get into this crazy real estate business?
Oh, yeah, what a story. Well, my background is in education. I was a teacher for many, many years in downstate Illinois. And I think I taught there like 8 years. And all of a sudden, my husband gets this opportunity to move to Chicagoland with a new job. So off we go with our 4-year-old son. I was unable to break into the teaching industry the first year we were here. But I did interview with a local builder who was new construction. And I worked there for about 1.5 years, and it just got in my blood. The passion I felt, and I was extremely successful. It was very uplifting. It was just so challenging. I knew that was something that I wanted to continue to do. But our son was too little. So I wanted to spend more time with him than in this crazy business where you're working 24/7, or
really 24/7.
Well, not probably
Yes.
so much anymore, but back then, yes. So I was able that following year then to break into the education, and I worked for District 54 in Schaumburg for like 14 years. But that passion was still in the back of my mind. So in 1988, I decided to get my real estate license. He was now 14, and I could devote more time to it. But I didn't leave my teaching job because I wanted that stability. I didn't want to have to be afraid that I wouldn't have a commission coming in, boom, because you don't. So I teamed up with a gal who could sort of much run the business day to day, and then I ran it from nights, weekends, and then, of course, we both ran it during the summertime. In 1991, our client basis just got too large, which that was not a bad thing.
That was a very good thing.
That was a very
part-time.
good thing, yeah. So I left teaching at that point in time, and here I am today.
All right. So did you stay with the same agency all these years?
No, but I don't really like to jump from spot to spot. I'm really not a big fan of change, and I believe in loyalty. So I stayed with the first one for about 2.5 years. And then I was recruited by a very high, powerful company, but I was still teaching school, which was absolutely unheard of. But it worked for me because, as I said, I had my partner that helped out during the day. I stayed there 14 years and met a broker with Prudential Stark at that time, before we became Berkshire Hathaway. And she wined and dined me for many, 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 many months. And finally the light bulb went off, and I figured out by taking pencil and paper out that the benefits that Berkshire Hathaway had to offer far outweighed the benefits I was getting from the other company. In other words, I was writing too many checks with the other company. I was paying for marketing, I was paying for training, I was paying for signs, postcards, even down to paper clips. So, like I said, the light bulb went off. I saw the advantage, so I made the move.
Super good. And so were you an influencer in getting anybody? Certainly Ryan was an influencer in getting his best friend, his college roommate, to switch from one agency to another.
Well, ironically, yes, I was. I was an influence on getting you.
That's true.
You were working for a very large company at the same time that I was, and I guess I kept spouting the benefits of Berkshire Hathaway, and finally, about a year later, I made you a believer too. And now the great thing is that you're the manager, do a phenomenal job, give it your whole heart and soul, I've got to say, and I'm just pleased you've joined. I'm pleased you're my leader, and we continue to move forward.
Right. Well, this is a great company, and if the two of you were to give any, like words of advice, especially you, Ryan, for somebody that's brand new vetting companies and, maybe just a couple of years into the business and they're just not really satisfied, and I think Shocker was, somebody not too satisfied, what would you say to them if you were just to give them your words of wisdom?
Yeah, I'd say break it down to what's important to you. I knew something that was lacking for Shocker, and he had made it very apparent, was the training and the mentorship. Mm-hmm. It did take him actually about a year or two to become a true believer and change flags. But in that time, he was always asking questions, always following up with myself or you. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like treating him as a real estate client in a sense, like, how can I help you?
Right.
It's a service industry foremost. It's not, I can sell ice to Eskimos at all. It's about, what can I do to help you and to be of service? And when you understand that from a client's perspective or a friend's perspective, then you're able to see them flourish. And I know Shocker, since coming here, he's doubled or tripled his sales in the few months that he's been here. So that is something important. Take your time, figure out what's important to you, and then go from there.
Right. I think that's really true. And we do really talk about that, building relationships, from your client base to also people that you do work with, because we've all been in the industry long enough and we have had those experiences where we've had to almost hold up both ends of the deal. And that's an extraordinarily big struggle, because you have your loyalty and your fiduciary responsibility to the one you're representing.
It is.
So, Kathy, I ask you the same question. What would be some things that you would say to somebody that is a veteran, 10, 15 years in the business, much like you were?
Well, I'll tell you, I think the two biggest things that we bring to any realtor is the training and the advantage of the wonderful marketing program we have. And I don't think it matters how long you've been in the business. We still all need that training. We need that coaching. Things change daily in our industry, and we have to keep abreast of all of that. But more importantly, I think the realtor, if they are a seasoned one, they get stuck with the fact of the percentage they are making with their present company. And I've got to tell you, it doesn't really matter what percentage that brokerage is paying you, that percentage is not real. Because Berkshire Hathaway gives so much. They invest so much back into their realtors. What we are paid is an actual percentage. We don't have to deduct the signs, the E&O insurance, the marketing, the postcards, as I said before, any of that. It is all at our fingertips, at our beckoning call, and we should and do take advantage of it. Yeah. So if they put their pencil and they sharpen it real good, I think they will figure out that by joining Berkshire Hathaway Stark Real Estate, they actually are making more in the long run. And because of the training they have invested and have available to us, they definitely are serving their clients better.
Right.
Yeah, I have to say for me too, speaking on what Kathy had just mentioned, the mentorship is amazing. I mean, Kathy helped me for my first 3 deals and has continued to answer my phone calls anytime I have a question. I also have to say, as doing real estate part-time, I don't really have to worry about any of those small things that Kathy had just mentioned, that now I need to contact a sign person, I need to set up a new photographer. It's all just taken care of too, so it just makes it so seamless so that I can just focus on
doing what you do best.
Yep, that's
listing and selling.
That's it.
Well, and the good thing is, each of you started part-time. I started part-time. And part-time people are part of my belief, because you can be extraordinarily successful, and you have been extraordinarily successful as a part-time agent for these past 18 months. I see you continue to flourish each and every month.
Thank you.
And Kathy, you started there, and then your business grew so much you couldn't continue to stay part-time.
Right.
I applaud that. But I certainly know that you're not going to give up your day job, so to speak, and I love that you have
real
that
job?
passion.
Yes, that's true. And that's a big reason why you've been so helpful is you've never pushed me to do that because you know how passionate I am about my law practice or working with the client I do. So
Right.
I appreciate that.
Well, to me, it's really important to meet your needs and expectations because you can carve out a great living doing it part-time, and having that extra money for doing all the things you do. You might
true.
want to share some of the things you've done with your money.
Yeah, I was able to pay off my undergraduate loans. I was able to pay for a down payment on my house or my farm.
Your farm.
That's true.
Tell us about your farm and how many animals?
Oh, geez. Right now, I think it's going to be 78 animals. So
You are amazing.
it's most of them are chickens and ducks, but 5 goats, 2 pigs, 7 cats, or most of them are barn cats, indoor rabbits, and then it keeps me busy. But I still have time to do real estate. It's just
And
time.
one more thing that you've got coming up that's keeping you
true.
probably busy?
Yes, planning a wedding.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and I'm able to use my real estate money for that.
Right. So I think that's pretty amazing.
It's been a blessing.
Right. And Kathy, I know that you just don't do real estate. You're very actively involved in Woodstock and all of their wonderful things that they do.
Well, yeah, I believe in giving back. I always have. I love the local charity that Berkshire Hathaway supports, Sunshine Kids, and I also have my own charities. I believe if you give back, you get back twofold. So, and you can utilize a lot of that to enhance your business. When I left teaching, for example, those people all knew me as their trusted teacher. All I had to do was embellish that and then get them to trust me as their trusted realtor. And in fact, I've sold many of my kids' parents' homes. And now this is going to age me a bit, but I've also sold a lot of my former 4th grade students' homes in the 35 years that I have been practicing this wonderful business.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank both of you very much for coming on today and talking about how you have found your forever home and how it wasn't your first agency and how you vetted with 4 others before you decided to make the decision, which is really important because it has to be a perfect fit.
It does.
Without a doubt. So now I ask you, aren't you curious about finding a little bit more out about Berkshire Hathaway Stark Real Estate and the Hoffman Estates office? So I'm asking you to tell me your story and the one thing that you would like to change, learn, or enhance to grow your business. Well, until next time when I can welcome you into our home through our doors. See you again.